Joanna, how you do me like Joanna?
Hi you guys, so today I'm going to be retightening my hair, and while I'm retightening my locks, which I've done majority of my head already, I'm just going to be doing a little Q&A. I have some questions here and I'm just going to be answering a couple of questions really quickly while I'm retightening my hair. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get into these questions, guys. And yeah, I only have 10 questions. I might do a separate Q&A later on because I have not done a lock update in a long while, and I am nearly at my 2-year mark, which is actually one of my questions. But yeah, so the first question that I have here is what type of locks I have, and I have DIY Microlocs. Yeah, so they are Microlocs, not Sisterlocs. Yeah, that's the first question. The second question I have here is when were, sorry, I'm also on my laptop. My second question here is when were your locks installed and by who installed your locks? So if you followed my hair journal, or if you have not, you know, then you would know that my locks were installed by myself. Yeah, so I did do my own Microlocs, and if you remember, as I've said, I actually did my Microlocs. I actually started on January 3rd of 2020, and we're actually coming up to January again because today is November 29th, so I'll be 2 years soon. Yeah, so I did my own locks myself, and that was on January 3rd of 2020. I didn't finish it until January 19th of 2020. It did take me a while to actually install all of my hair, and I'll tell you why in a second. The third question I have here is how long have you had your locks? And then kind of going with my previous question, almost 2 years now I've had my locks. I'll be 2 years, what I would consider, on January 19th of 2022. So that's how long I've had my locks, and these are them. I'll be doing an updated lock tour because I did one lock tour my first year of being locked. I'll be doing an updated one. So yeah, the fourth question I have here is why did you choose no grid? If any of you have followed my lock journey, or maybe you have not, I do not have any grid in my hair. And I decided that mostly for a couple of reasons. One, I like the way my locks look with no grid. I did not want to have a lot of scalp showing. Whenever I did decide to do my locks, I wanted to look as natural as possible. Not to say that doing a grid will be unnatural, it's just my preference. Second thing is it would take a little bit less time versus having to create a grid in your hair to go ahead and do it without a grid. I know a lot of people spend a lot of time, I watched a lot of videos before I actually did my Microlocs, and a lot of time was spent on forming their grid for their hair, and I was just like, I didn't want to do it. And there's a couple other reasons, and if you guys want to have a video on why I completely chose no grid, then I can talk about that, but that will be a video in itself because there's a couple of reasons why I decided to go no grid. But yeah, so I do not have a grid installed with my hair, and that has not given me any issues. Again, I am almost two years locked, and I have no issues with not having a grid. Yeah. And I would definitely say for anyone who wants a more of a neater look and they want to be able to part their hair in a certain manner, a certain way, that you wouldn't want to go the same way, because I can part my hair, I can have side parts, middle parts, I can have all of that pretty much the same. They're just not all the way even, which is perfectly fine with me because they're locks. I wasn't planning on having even rows, but you know, everyone, you know, to each his own. So that was my 4th question. 5th question is, do I have lint issues? Now, I am going to say this. I do not have any lint issues at the moment. I haven't had lint issues since, I would say, maybe the beginning of this year. Now, when I first installed my locks, after a couple of months, I definitely had issues with lint. I'm not exactly sure what changed or why I don't have lint issues now. I really don't know, but I don't have issues with lint at all in my hair. I almost never find any lint in my locks. I wash my locks enough to be able to prevent lint from coming into my hair, and it's also, you know, the clothing that I wear, but I really don't have issues. Even when I wear cotton or anything like that, I don't get lint in my hair. I don't find it. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why that, you know, I wouldn't have lint. I would say something. There has been, if you guys ever get locks, you'll notice that there are white buds in your hair. I remember like my whole first year, and some parts of my 2nd year, like the beginning, but not anymore, I used to have these white buds at the beginning of my locks. And I looked it up, I researched it, and I was looking at like what the white buds are. And it's basically breakage, and it's basically your hair shedding. So when your head sheds, obviously the little white buds from your hair shedding doesn't have anywhere to go. You can't comb it out or anything, so it's getting stuck in your locks. So I did have that issue for a while. Now I haven't seen it in such a while. Like I used to have it like a lot at the front. Like I used to see like the white buds all the time. Again, I don't know what changed. I don't know if it's because I've had my locks for a certain amount of time now or what has happened, but I haven't had that issue in a while as well, and I'm really grateful for that. But yeah, I did have that particular issue. And I think as I researched, I did notice that a lot of people had that issue. So I don't know if it's necessarily an issue or if it's just something that comes with having locks. So yeah. Next question, number 6, is breakage issues or anything that I do to fix breakage or like holes in my locks or anything like that, since I do my locks myself. And I can absolutely say that before my hair completely locked, I definitely had issues with not so much as breakage, but more so like getting holes in my locks, and my locks haven't broken off, so I haven't had a lock fall out or anything like that. I do have some thin locks, but that's because me using a no grade method. Not all of my locks are the same fullness. Some are a lot skinnier, some are a little bit bigger, on the bigger side, so that plays an issue in why some of my locks are different sizes. So again, if you are going with the no grade method, just know that all your locks are most likely not going to be the same size. And I have no issues with that, but if you do, I would say go for a grid. But yeah, as far as like holes, I think I did a video a while back on me fixing a hole in my lock, because I did have some issues with that, not all the time, but sometimes. And particularly, I think that was an issue because I wasn't banding my hair every time I washed my hair. Sometimes I would be lazy and I did not want to band my hair, and yeah, I just washed my hair with it being loose before I knew it was completely locked. Now I can wash my hair like this because I don't have those same issues. I don't really get holes in my locks, at least not right now. Yeah, but before, when I wasn't banding my hair and my hair was still pretty loose and not locked toward the ends, that definitely was an issue. So definitely band your hair, braid it up, whatever you need to do when you're washing it, especially when you're at least a year. I would say at least up to a year when you first have your locks. I would definitely brand and braid my hair, because that was an issue for me because I wasn't listening, basically. Yeah, and I also have a video on how I fix some of my holes. I don't have any right now. I did go through all of my hair to make sure, so I don't have any right now. So that's also good. Number 7. Has there been any differences that you've noticed in your locks over time? Again, since I am almost 2 years, there's a lot of differences. There's major differences, which will actually be in another video. Sorry, guys. Because there's a lot of differences in my hair since I've gotten it locked. One difference I can tell you guys is that since I've started my locks, I haven't really seen a lot of growth in my hair. And that's because during the locking phase, which is something that I researched, during the locking phase, you're probably not going to see a lot of growth within the first year to sometimes even up to 3 years of your hair initially being locked. It'll seem like your hair is actually the same size or sometimes even shorter, because I honestly felt at one point my hair was shorter than what it was when I first got it locked. And that's because it's actually in the locking phase. And I use I use 2-strand twists as to start my locks, and I braided some of them, like the hair that was more loose, because I did have some heat damage in my hair, and that was also another issue. And the heat damage was basically all up through here, and you can't even tell anymore that these were all heat damage, because over time, which is why my front is a lot shorter than my back, over time I was snipping off the heat damage as my hair was locking, because I didn't want to completely lose a lot of length, so I was snipping off the heat damage little by little. So the front is a little bit shorter than the back of my hair, and lengthwise, because I was cutting it off as time went on. But yeah, there's a lot of differences. That'll have to be a whole nother video talking about the differences in my locks. But yes, you will know tremendous differences in your locks, and I definitely suggest taking videos, taking pictures from the beginning up until, you know, however long you want to notice more differences, because pictures and videos can tell a lot between like your actual memory of like how your hair was during the beginning. So definitely take pictures and videos to show yourself, so that you can see yourself what has changed in your hair during your lock journey, if you decide to go on a lock journey. Okay, number 8, how long does it take you to microloc? Basically like interlocking, and what tool do you use? So I have never used any other tool other than this tool here. And if you guys know, this is a crochet needle. I ordered interlocking tools off of Amazon, and I never used them. I don't know why. I don't know, maybe just because I became so used to just using this that I just never decided to use the interlocking tools. So I just have them in my drawer. Just maybe one day I'll use them and see, you know, what the difference will be. Like do one side using the interlocking tool and one side using the crochet needle, just to see if there's a difference or anything, or if I notice any change on how I interlock my hair. But that's the only tool I have used. I've used that to fix holes in my locks and everything, and it works for me. It works for me. I do my own hair. It works for me. And as far as like how long it usually takes me to do my whole retie, usually it can take me only 2 days. In the past, it has taken me only like 2 days, and that's stopping and going, stopping and going. But recently it has taken me weeks. And I do not suggest that. That is another thing I will be talking about in another video. I do not suggest taking weeks to do your lock retie at all. That can cause a lot of issues and a lot of problems, and again, I can talk about that in another video. Do not take weeks to retie your hair. Sometimes I just get lazy, and because I know I'm doing it myself, I'll just be like, oh, I'll do this tomorrow, oh, I'll finish that tomorrow, whatever. Do not do that. Like, I'm trying to, like, lately I have been like, you know, getting on myself and actually like interlocking my hair. Like this last retie, I forgot what number retie I'm on, but this last retie, I've only taken about, I would say it's only been a week now, less than a week, and I'm actually almost done. I only have a couple left in my hair. I know I'm supposed to be retying my hair right now, but I literally only have a couple left, so I'm gonna be done today. So this has been like the best time I have done in months, because I actually was on myself this time. But definitely do not take weeks or a long amount of time to retie your hair, because eventually you're gonna be noticing like the locks that you have retied are starting to get a little bit older, and then you have locks that are already retied. It's a lot. Don't take a long time, and there's other issues that can be caused by doing that. So yeah, there's that. I think that was question number 8. Number 9 is, what rotation do you interlock with? I use a 2-point rotation. I initially was using a 4-point rotation to interlock my hair. I forget exactly. I think because it was taking me so long to interlock my hair using a 4-point rotation, I started to use a 2-point rotation. And that works a lot better for me. It doesn't take me as long to do my hair. And to be honest, I like how that rotation is for me. I like how my hair comes out. I like how it lays down. And I've been using that for like a couple of months now, and that hasn't caused any issues from switching from the 4-point to the 2-point rotation. So that's the rotation I use. Last question is, do you miss your loose natural hair? And absolutely, there's a lot of times where I'm just like, man, I really miss how my loose natural hair was and is. I'll go back to pictures and videos. I'll even look at my first video that you guys see of me actually getting my locks, and I'll look at like how my hair was and when it was out and everything, and I'm just like, man, I wish like I can do that. Now I know I can go get a wig or something like that, and I do have a video coming out with you guys. I actually have a wig that I've actually tried on over my locks, and it came out beautiful. So I will be giving you guys a video on how I put my locks under a wig. But I don't necessarily wear a wig much. I think I've only worn a wig one time. This is the first time I've ever worn a wig over my locks, and I usually wear it for like a day. I will wear it for a day and then I'm going to take it off. But I absolutely miss my loose natural hair. Sometimes I'm like, how long would it take me to like take out my locks? Now I love my locks, but I also miss my loose natural hair. Will I take out my locks? Currently, no. That's not something I'm thinking about. But would I? I can absolutely change my mind at any point. Many people do. You never know. Like, your hairstyle changes. You always want to change up, you know, the ways that you do your hair. So because of that, I don't know how I'll think in the future. But right now, I will not take out my hair. Would it change later? I don't know. But yes, I absolutely do miss my loose natural hair. And that's why I look at videos and pictures and stuff like that. So yes, you guys, that was my last question. If you guys have any questions for me or any comments or anything like that, anything that you guys want to see with my hair, again, I will be having an upcoming lock tour of my hair coming up. I do have my 2 years coming up, and let's hope I actually get out those videos because I take a long time. But yes, you guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next videos I do have coming up, and I'll see you guys in the next ones. Bye bye.